welcome to this new episode of our program, The Beat. Well, as we promised you, we're gonna get to each single tiny mega beat happening on our beautiful land in Egypt. So please stay tuned with us as we will be back right after this.
Blood Sweat Drum and Bass consists of 27 musicians, 3 drums, 2 bass players, 2 synthesizers, 1 guitarist, 1 working laptop and electronics, 16 horns and 2 singers. The orchestra has been working with a wide variety of music including heavy metal, electronica, rock, pop, drum and bass, world music and of course jazz. Their latest album, On the Road to Damascus, was released in 2012. This time the music was inspired by the composer's travels in the Middle East, and the notes for the orchestra were written in the Arabic quarter tone scales. Composer and conductor is Jens Christian Chappie Jensen, and besides his work with Blood Sweat Drum and Bass, he delivers saxophone solos and horn arrangements for a great variety of Danish pop and rock stars. Chappie is an associate professor at the Royal Academy of Music in Aarhus. He educates saxophone players and teaches big band arrangements. Blood Sweat Drum and Bass stumbled into being in 2001. Composer and conductor Chappie put the orchestra together and played a single show which was supposed to be it. The people who heard the X-Large big band had another opinion, though, and requests for additional concerts throughout the band back together. Eventually, they realized that every new concert that they were playing was not going to be their last. Instead, they were building a name for themselves without even knowing so. Today, Blood Sweat Drum and Bass is one of the best playing big bands in Europe. The musicians all have careers on their own. Some dig improvisation and free jazz, others work with theater and traditional concerts, but when they come together they create this sound which only can be described as Blood Sweat Drum and Bass. It's thick and you can stick a brush into it and paint your walls with it. The orchestra played Denmark and abroad, solo and with guest stars, and released 5 albums which every time would take their music in another direction. The story of Blood Sweat Drum and Bass is the story of sticking together when chasing the muses. Blood Sweat Drum and Bass is a 26-piece extended big band featuring Danish musicians and composers. The orchestra plays with an overwhelming energy and mix of styles with elements of futuristic rock and trip-hop, expanding the big band concept and crossing musical borders. Their latest album, On the Road to Damascus, inspired by Syrian poet Nizar Qabbani, tonight the band was featuring for the first time the Iraqi oud virtuoso Nasir Shamma.
have the pleasure tonight to interview with me the very talented Mr. Chappie Jensen from Denmark. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, thank you. Great.
So when I was searching, making my research about Blood, Sweat, Drum and Bass, I found that it was written that it is the band in Denmark that has the guts to be original. What does that mean?
Well, I didn't write that, but anyhow, it means that probably we're taking a lot of chances mixing other music into our repertoire. Yeah. So we mix like the Arabic flavors into the repertoire, the electronic flavors into the repertoire, even rock flavors and more experimental flavors. Yes.
To reach myself, if I'm lucky, I can share it with you, and I won't try to hide, 'cause I know everything continues. With or without me, there will still be you. With or without me, it should be happening soon. You'll feel the shadow spread in your veins and in your bones. At this point, there is no escape. Within your heart, you won't settle for less. Within your heart, you come on, courage to enter the kingdom where you cannot hide. Taste the air, swallow the concept of time, and we may die alive. Come on, courage to open the doors where there are only walls, and set your us for taking the old, and we all may become less cynical. In your attempt to solve this mystery that you pursue, don't give way to doubt. This is your chance of being human, and don't say waste the time. Being human, don't say waste it.
It's a very difficult and long name for a band. Why did you call it so?
Well, when we started out, we actually mixed in a lot of drum and bass music. So that's the reason for the name. But now we didn't play a lot of drum and bass, but still it's in our blood, I think. Yeah.
So tell me more about your latest CD, On the Road to Damascus, that is inspired by the great Syrian poet Nizar Qabbani.
That's right. Yes, I went to Syria and I met a beautiful musicians down there, Esam Rafai, who is a oud player, and Muslim Rahal, a very beautiful ney player. I got to know them very good, and we were experimenting on tunes, and I learned some of the scales and maqams, and I listened a lot to traditional Syrian or Arabic music, and then I just started writing something for my band with a lot of inspiration, and even sometimes I used some of the thematic themes, like Samai Fafasa and things like that.
Chance of being human, and don't say waste the time. Being human, don't say wasted your time. Come on, your courage to enter the kingdom where you cannot hide. Taste the air, swallow the concept of time, and we may die alive. Come on, your courage to open the doors where there are
asking because also I noticed that the whole band, they are not Arabs, and yet how can they digest the quarter tone?
Well, we worked on that, but the big thing is we played with these musicians. Also, like tonight, we play with Nasir Shamar. So we listen a lot when we play with great soloists from here, and also practice with them, practice the scales and practice how to get into the mood and the expression of the music. And I know we have far to go still, but we are very inspired by it.